Bottoms up!
Hey beer buddies, and welcome back for this fourth video. We've already covered blonde beers, cherry beers, and dark beers, so today, amber beers.
This fossilized tree sap, which we call amber.
But without losing any more time, let's get on with it.
Get on with it! Yes, get on with it!
First up is a beer that I enjoy from time to time. I have it right here. Palm. It's brewed by the brewery of Palm, which can be found in Steenhuffel, a village of the town of Londerzeel, and that's part of Flemish Brabant. This brewery has got quite a long history, dating back to 1597, but as a beer brand, Palm was not introduced until 1929. It has 5.2% of alcohol, which is pretty much the same as most of our Pilsner beers.
Because I'm a Pilsner man.
But it's not a Pilsner, it's a Special Belge. This style of beer dates back to the early 1900s, when there was a contest in 1904 by the Belgian Brewers Union, so that we could compete with more fancy imports from Britain and Germany.
Ooh, the Germans!
A year later, so in 1905, this beer was presented at the World's Fair of Liège, and it was quite a hit. It gets its amber color from caramelized malt, and its flavor from mineral-rich water and mildly fragrant hops. But let's open it up and taste for ourselves. It's been since yesterday since I've had this beer. Alright. I have an appropriate Palm glass too. So that's nice. Oh, that's beautiful. There. Ain't that pretty, you guys. A very pretty color. There's a very rich flavor. Not really sweet, although it tastes a little bit sweet. A bit like honey, the aftertaste.
Would you happen to have some honey?
Cheers. That's very refreshing. And yeah, it's a little bit more bitter than sweet, I would say. Bitter at first, and then this silky, honey-like aftertaste. I've always really liked Palm. So from what I read about this beer, it used to be more bitter even. I'm kind of glad with how it is now. It's a really nice beer. And not too strong, 5.2%, like a Pilsner, I said that before, so it's good.
It's good!
I'm gladly gonna finish this. You guys already knew that.
Soon after.
Every year in November and December, they come out with a double Palm version, which adds a little bit more of the caramelized malt than they do with this version. So it has a little bit more alcohol, but it has so much more flavor. It's such a nice beer for the end of the year. I always really like drinking it. And so do some of my family members, including my dad.
Later.
Beer number 2 on the list is another Abbey beer, like in the previous video with Grünberg, but this one is Leffe. It is brewed by Anheuser-Busch InBev, and it's named for the Abbey of Leffe in the city of Dinant, which can be found in the province of Namur. It's a lot stronger than the previous beer at 9% of alcohol. Woohoo! Leffen is a very important beer brand for the InBev group. Most of the export goes to France, as I could tell recently when I was there for a trip to the Champagne region. Affligem, Leffe, Duvel, they all had Belgian beers, which makes sense because French beer. No offense, but come on. It's time to open this beautiful bottle. I also bought a Leffe glass, I didn't have one yet. Let's pour this baby out. Give it some air. That's another beautiful, beautiful amber beer. Wow. Pretty.
Just then.
I have a Leffe beard. What? Time to taste. Bottoms up. Yeah, it's a really good beer. 9% of alcohol, but you really can't tell. until, well, by now a little bit with the aftertaste. It's a little bit alcoholic, but not as bad. I've had worse. It's a really good beer. So let's talk a bit about this abbey. It was founded in 1152 by Norbertine monks. Then in 1240 they got their hands on a brewery on the other side of the River Meuse. They moved it into their abbey, and ever since they've been brewing. But with some hiccups here and there, because it was quite the history of brewing, not brewing, brewing again, not brewing again, until eventually in 1954, the brewery Artois, known from Stella Artois, became the majority shareholder, and since 1996 they have been brewing this in the brewery of Stella Artois in the city of Leuven, Flemish Brabant. The Abbey of Leuven itself now has a beer museum next to it. That might be interesting to visit one day and have some of these puppies, because you know they're going to sell them there, even though they don't brew them there anymore.
A little later.
And now it's anecdote time. There are many varieties of this beer, including Leffe Blonde, which was, well, one of my favorites, I would say. It was one of the first Abbey beers that I tried, other than Kimberger Double. And, well, I liked it. It wasn't too strong, and I think it's 6.2 or something percent, so that's doable. But there's also Leffe Triple, which I also liked, but, oh, yeah, I overdid it one time. Yeah, stinging headaches.
Meanwhile, back in the lowlands.
After that, I'm gonna take a break with filming this video because the last beer on the list is even stronger than this one. So I'm gonna go cook me up some eggs. Yum yum yum. Bye, see you soon. Those eggs were delicious. And I needed some food in me because this last beer is quite strong. Actually, it's the strongest one I've covered so far. It's Busch Caractère, and at 12% of alcohol, this is gonna be fun.
Later that same evening.
I have to say, this beer is as precious as oil. This beer is brewed in the brewery of Dubuisson, which can be found in the village of Pipet, which is part of the city of Leuze-en-Hainaut that can be found in the province of Hainaut. Now let's pour this one. I don't have a Busch glass, but this is a cocktail glass, which will do just fine for it. Oh, that's pretty.
It's so beautiful.
And my god, it smells strong. This brewery was founded in 1769. It's on the bottle, in fact. But this beer wasn't brewed until 1933. And actually, this beer's recipe has been the same for 90 years, which makes it one of Belgium's oldest specialty beers. And I'm now gonna try it for the first time ever, actually. Wow. I'm already half drunk smelling it. Wow. That's yummy. Very strong aftertaste though. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I ate a little bit before I tried this one. If you're wondering where the name Busch beer comes from, it's actually a translation of this beer, because Bière Dubuisson more or less means beer of the bush, because buisson is French for bush or shrubbery.
A shrubbery!
Cheers again. This is very rich in flavor, and it's a bit sweet at first, then it turns more into bitter and very strong aftertaste, very alcoholic, which makes sense because, I mean, 12%, this is like wine. This is stronger than some wines.
I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
But yeah, nice. Alright. I'm looking forward to trying some more of these. Not this particular beer, but more of Busch beers, because they have several varieties. Also, fun fact, in some countries the name Bush beer has been already trademarked by AB InBev, so therefore this beer is known as Scaldis in those countries. I'm not quite sure what those countries are, but there will be a link in the description below. This is good, but I like my beers a little bit less strong, like that Leffen I had earlier. Or that Rochefort I pissed in the previous video. That was so smooth you couldn't even taste it was that strong. I felt it though.
Meanwhile,
I wonder if this beer has it in it to invade Iraq on false grounds.
I don't know.
So, well, I'm gonna go sit down and drink off the rest of this beer. I would like to thank you all for watching this video. Please leave it a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on. It really helps a lot. Thank you. Bye. Bottoms up.